Hello and good evening once again. Welcome to your Celtic Supports podcast, the gateway to your weekend. It's Friday Night Live. It's Hoggy, Andy and Kev. I'm not too sure whether Paul is going to be with us tonight, but usually, as you know, Paul's timekeeping might mean that he walks in to us. But guys, welcome. Thank you very much for your attendance. Andy, buddy, how's your week, son?
Aye, good mate. You're just freezing a wee bit again. I been all right this weekend out of Ireland and back and bouncing about a wee bit, but I got an early finish day and enjoyed a bit of the sunshine and on the garden, which makes a change. So it's been good, aye.
Good mate. Kevin, how's your week been, son?
Aye, it's been brand new, mate. It's been all right. Enjoying the weather, you know. It's this is the weather for my kind of job, know what I mean? So enjoying getting the sun about me and that.
Especially you, 4 seasons in one day usually, Kev, as well. So enjoy the sunshine when you're it, brother.
So it's good to know.
Aye.
What about you, Hoggy?
My week's been a wee bit of a fucking up and down one as well. I've been up and down for England all week. I was just saying there, I've been up and down for England all week, mate. So, well, all week, 2 days. But it feels as if it's all. And today, so I got a wee early finish and I get out in the backyard and cut the grass. Go to it. So I'm enjoying a couple of refreshments tonight as well, but not too much. But yes.
Good stuff.
Adalantes.com, where you can get related t-shirts and clobber. Visit adalantes.com and use CSP5 at the checkout for £5 off.
I think the big man's froze.
Nice. He's really struggling with his internet tonight.
He's going to have to pop back in again.
We can see that Alistair Hoggy's been struggling the last 10 or 15 minutes with his Wi-Fi, so it has. Hopefully we'll get him back in and things will settle down for him. There he is.
We'll get him back in. Yep.
Am I good?
Aye, for the moment, a bit glitchy, but we'll see how it goes.
Honestly, since I got this new laptop as well, that was the same last week, Andy. Was it Monday?
It was, aye. It settled. It ended up, it settled right enough, but it seems to be right at the start when you're on it is kind of glitchy.
Well, hopefully it will settle a wee bit. If no, if it does it again, I'll need to just jump off and probably reset the Wi-Fi.
That's fine.
It's a freaking pain in the arse, pain in the hole. But where I was, just thanking our sponsors, Adalantes.com and McFadden Decor. We will run a wee ad midway through the show as well, just showing off the sponsors a wee bit more. Am I glitching again?
Aye, but if you carry on, it might level out.
We'll do the sponsors thing once I level it anyway. But it's been an interesting couple of days in Celtic land. Let's start for the day, Kevin. There was the re-signing of James Forrest midweek, which I don't think anybody was surprised by it. The fact that he got an extra year. But then today, there was a couple of alerts that came through my phone as well from Celtic Twitter. And it was the confirmation of Liam Scales and Luke McCowan on contract. So McCowan got a year extension. And I think Scales has got another 2 years added on his deal. What's your thoughts, mate? What's your initial thoughts on that as well? On Liam Scales, first of all, let's go through. What's your thoughts on Liam Scales tied to Celtic for another 4 years?
Fucking shocking. Absolutely shocking. My only hope there is that they've done it based on we need him as a squad player, but there's going to be better than him starting for us next season. But it just shows the complete fucking contempt that the board have got for us. Why are they doing that? A new manager could come in and no fancy him, and then that's you get somebody stuck in your books for another 4 years on a hefty wage, and you can't get rid of them because of the coin that they're pulling in every week. I think it's absolutely ludicrous. It's not as if he's got 6 months or a year to go and you need to hedge your bets a wee bit. No, I mean, he's still had 2 years and they've just extended it by another 2. And I'm not a great fan of big Scales, as you know. he's all sugar or all shite. There's no in between when he plays. And if this is what they're lining up for us for next season, then it's going to be another fucking painful season next season again.
Yeah.
The board are a complete share of bastards.
For me on that one, Kevin, again, it was a surprise to see the announcement come through that he'd signed that 2-year extension, taking through to 2030. But with Liam Scales, I don't think he's going to be earning a fortune. Let's be honest with you as well. That contract he's got as well is not going to be paying him 20, 30 grand a week. That's going to be probably 8 to 10 grand, something like that per week. So as regards to impact on wage bills and stuff like that, it's not going to be that great an impact. But as you said there as well, what message does that send out to our supporters there as well, that we're looking for mass change come the summer? And what you're getting there is you're getting Scales, and listen, let's be honest, Scales has played his part more than anybody else really this season for Celtic as well. But Andy, I'll come to you for the other one. Luke McCowan getting a year extension now. His contract obviously was coming, it was the last year his contract he was coming into after the summer. Mm-hmm. But they've extended that for another year. And we spoke just before we come on. Usually you would sign players or extend players to make sure you're protecting your asset. That it's maybe an idea as well, just to kind of be secure and potentially punt in. But with Scales and McCowan, the selling value is not going to be that great. So I don't think that's going to be one of the reasons for the extension. And McCowan being McCowan, he's not really had a good run of stats in the team this season. So what's your thoughts on McCowan then as well, and then get back to Scales after that?
Well, my opinion on McCowan is he does more talking off the field than the business he does on the field for my liking. You know, he likes to talk a good game, but you don't see it enough of him on the park. Very much a kind of squad player.
Yeah.
You know, we bought him for £1 million off of Dundee. And if this is him securing an asset to sell him on, or if there is going to be interest in it, then what's Luke McCowan worth? How much is he worth? You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. I think it just looks like a backwards move. And I absolutely no surprise that this board has went down this route with Scales and McCowan. Forrest, you can take out of the equation. I think he was always going to finish his career at Celtic and give him another year. Then I totally understand that. I've got nothing against that at all. But you're looking at guys who are new in this really. I mean, McCowan sometimes struggles to get a game in this team, and look how bad we are. So that tells you the type of kind of talent he is.
Yeah,
I totally understand that they're going to get him for £1 million. It's worth a shot. But to secure somebody down on a deal like that, when we have no even, well, as far as we know, that a new manager hasn't been confirmed, or you know, so it makes you think, if these two guys that are already here are getting deals extended before a manager comes in, is the other manager lined up? Is it going to be Martin O'Neill again, or is it going to be somebody that toes the party line when it comes to the politics at the club and the signing policies and all that kind of thing? Just kind of strange timing, you know. I don't get what was the hurry. You know, is there going to be a Russia player, a Russia teams coming in to snap up McCowan or Scales for that matter? I just don't see the point in putting it out there and making these deals. It's just very, very strange. I don't get it.
Absolutely.
Tells me it's Sean Maloney next season. That's what it's telling me.
Well, Kev, see, I really hope that isn't, because I think if you look at the way Celtic are playing with the whole tactics thing, and that's the kind of avenue that he's going down and what he's dealing with, as players on the park and the way they play, taking a lot of control on that, then it doesn't look good for us if he is anywhere near our kind of management team.
Yeah,
it maybe as an assistant, I don't know, but he's still coaching on the park. He's still getting an influence, no matter who the manager is. So I want to like us to go down that avenue. So I hope that isn't the case.
See, for me, by the way, Hoggy, to be honest with you, it's just one kick in the balls too many this season, to be honest with you.
So let me ask you that one. So if you don't mind me asking again, it's not my own personal opinion, but you mentioned something there. It's another kick in the balls, or a kick in the balls too many. What's the kick in the balls by extending these guys? What do you see as the kick in the balls for that? Is it just concentrating in the wrong areas? And how's it?
They're just not. They're just simply not good enough. And what we've seen all season has been proven. McCowan. How many games has he started? How many games has he got on as a sub? How many times has he not been on the bench?
Yep.
He's fucking dross. utter dross, and they're going and giving him a fucking extension. No, I mean, see, we need to bring in guys that's going to improve us because we're pish. And Dean, look, McCown's and fucking Liam Scales's, I'm just fucking hoping against all odds that the Scales thing is just a squad thing. In the same way McCown with the Scottish contingent for Europe, because see if it isn't, and these guys are our aspirations for next season, start looking forward to maybe what you've had this season.
It's a weird one, Andy, and Andy mentioned something there, Kevin, as well, about, you know, you're signing players without, or as far as we're led to believe as well, without the manager being in place. Now, obviously, he's not in place for next season, but we spoke about this, was it last week, Andy? We spoke about it, and we're asking as well, do you think Celtic are doing the groundwork now to actually get a manager in place? And this is either got one or two outcomes, but two faces for me. The first face is that Celtic have not got a fucking clue what they're doing. And basically, it's Sean Malone or one of them that's making the decisions to extend contracts for people that's going to have an impact on the playing budget for the new manager next year. Now, that for me is the bizarre thing, that you're then committing to players. Right, fair dues, they would already have been there, mind you, but extending these guys is mental. Or the other one is that Celtic have actually got somebody in place, or got an agreement in place as well, who has been having a look at the squad. And these ones, like the Scales one's bizarre because he's got two years left. McCowan one, okay, he had a year left. You've extended by another year, but it's bizarre. And Kevin, do you think that Celtic, showing with the decisions that's been made this season, do you think Celtic will pull a rabbit out the hat and provide us with a manager early in this summer break?
No, because that board are incompetent and not fit for purpose, plain and simple. And you know something, see after the Green Brigade coming back and things starting to settle and die down a wee bit, by the way, that the day has just fucking riled me right back up to the hilt again with it. So it has. It really has.
So will you...
Fucking totally dejected at it. Completely and utterly dejected with them. You're just a shower of inept, incompetent bastards. Big Hoggy's froze again.
Oh, he's froze again. Aye, Kev, I know where you're coming from. You're touching on the players. And I think, you know, when you're getting players contracts like that, then you think, well, somebody must be in the picture if getting the green light for these players to be extended. Listen, they'll do a job. No, they'll do a job as part of a squad. But I totally agree with what you say. You know, when it comes to summer, we've got so much of a rebuild to go that we're looking at the majority of the team that needs replaced because they're simply not good enough. So, you know, when you look at who's going to come in, I don't think it's the case, but let's say, excuse me, that they've got a manager in place in the background or whatever, and they're saying, well, we're going to extend so-and-so's deal for that amount of time and so-and-so's deal for that amount of time. It's like, that's fine. That's a red flag to me. Somebody that looks at them and says, well, you know, they should be looking at them and going, well, they're no good enough for what I want to do to improve this club, you know. So I think if there's a manager in place who's maybe had an incline into having a look at the squad and giving it a green light, then that's quite alarming for me that they'd be willing to kind of rubber stamp that, you know, before there's so much work to get done that it's just kind of baffling for me that I know that the amount of time they had left, how was that not long enough? You know, like, why did they have to? I really don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. And I'm not saying they're absolute shite, right? I'm not saying that, because they will do a job for you when required at certain points of a season. They're certainly no first team. In my opinion, if we want to progress as a club, they're no first team starters. They're no, you've got to improve upon that. But they would fill in injuries, cover injuries and stuff like that.
I think look, McCown's one of the worst players ever to grace Celtic Park, by the way, and a Celtic shirt.
That is a bold statement, Kevin. Bold.
I've said it on this podcast months ago. The guy is fucking rotten, by the way. Absolutely fucking rotten. And if you go and look at his minutes this season, that'll tell you just how good he is. He's fucking rotten, rank rotten, dross, garbage, pish. And that's why we're in the state we're in. A fucking squad like that.
So where for you does Luke McCowan rank then in the central midfielders that we've got? And if we're saying central midfielder is the position that he would be playing, because he has been played and utilised out wide. Everybody says that he was a winger as a young boy and stuff like that. So you can potentially utilise him out on the flanks. But where do you think...
To be fair, when you touch on that point, Hoggy, he scored a few goals for that position when he's been on the right-hand side there. So
what I'm going to try to say, that there is a bit of versatility about him. So, Kevin, for your point there as well, that he's absolute dross, where does he rank in the list of the central midfielders that we've actually got at our disposal now? And by that, I'm including the likes of Hatate, Bernardo in there. Where does Luke McCowan for you sit in that list? Is it dead bottom?
Firmly on the bottom, aye. Completely, aye.
It's an interesting one.
Is that a basement level? Or what? Is it just ground floor for it?
I think that's a ground floor one, because for me, McCowan's got his plus points. I think that a few of the guys in the community are saying there as well about, you know, they're Celtic boys through and through. We're Celtic boys through and through. We're shy at fit, though. You know,
I'm one of the worst you'll ever see in your life. I'm one of the worst you'll ever see in your life, but I'm Celtic through and through.
Yeah.
Doesn't get me a fucking contract. Sitting getting skills from Mars.
Exactly. And if we could count... How many hands would you need? How many fingers would you need to actually count how many people in that squad would you say are Celtic through and through? Let's count them after now. Who is the proper Celtic men in that squad now?
McGregor, Forrest, KT.
Scales?
Ralston, aye.
Would you look at Luke McCowan in that because he is a boyhood Celtic fan? Would you say he's like Celtic through and through? Would you include him there?
Yeah, I would. There's no doubt he's
I dare say he probably is. If he's a boyhood fan, he probably is. But again, like Ralston, he's utter shite.
Yep. So Ross Doohan was a Celtic fan and came through the Celtic boots as well. So the third goalie, you could potentially put him in there. Dane Murray, you could potentially put him in there as well. Again, he's come through the Celtic ranks as a boy. We'll not go too far into it, but I'm just going to think in match squads.
You have to think, mate, Motherwell now as well.
I know he's on loan, but big Welsh.
Welsh, aye. Yep. Donovan, right.
There's Colby Donovan as well. So there's 10 players that we've kind of picked out there that we would say are meeting that criteria of Celtic through and through. McGregor, Forrest, KT, Liam Scales, Tony Ralston, Luke McCowan, Ross Doohan, Stephen Welsh, Colby Donovan, Dane Murray. How many of them are going to start for you?
Well, if you look at Welsh, the situation he's in now, he's doing very well at Motherwell, but didn't seem to do it whenever he came to or got a chance at Celtic. I always thought he was quite fragile as a centre-half as well. He always had a really bad injury, kind of history and stuff like that. He seemed to get injured every time he hit the ground, shoulder or leg or whatever. Seemed to pick up a lot of injuries.
Yeah,
he's went to Motherwell and played really well, the boy. But I just don't. I don't know. Maybe it's pressure or something like that at Celtic. It kind of makes you play different if you can't handle the pressure. You know, the slightest bit of mistake that you make and you're getting absolutely called out with 60,000 people. But we all know. We've seen it. We've probably been part of it at times as well, you know. And a lot of people say that the kind of homegrown players get it a wee bit tighter than what I found it now. That the foreigners sometimes get a wee bit more leeway than the local boys. Maybe they find that, you know, they're getting let off a leash a wee bit when they leave the club. But so Welsh is done well. I suppose you could look at Scales has been in that team in the majority of the season. Right, for various reasons, due to recruitment and due to lack of basically any competition either, he kind of take a jersey off him. I think he's done reasonably all right, but we need more than reasonably all right. We need better quality. Yeah. If we're going to, never mind compete in Europe and do better in Europe, but actually win our own league, which, looking at the squad this season, looks as if it's no good enough to do that. At this point, anyway, you know, we're sitting in third place at the moment, so I think it shows you that our squad is very, very weak. Even though we've got all the players that you named off who are Celtic minded and grew up Celtic fans, you still need to be good enough.
100%, Andy. Couldn't disagree with anything you said there, and it's just it's a position we're in because of the board and their shenanigans, and it's not going to be a quick fix. You know what I mean? Even if we can get a manager in the summer who he was of say a decent standard, you get a manager in the summer of a decent standard, and then he's got to identify who he would like and what he needs. Unless the manager's already been sorted and we don't know about it, and he's starting to look about himself, are you going to have problems in the summer trying to sign certain levels of players as well, with the World Cup taking place as well? Because, and I know players don't sit in and a lot of it's all agent work, and they've got, obviously the agents have got basic guidelines, etc, and they're to get the best that they can, but they still need to try and speak to the player at some point, but that's going to be minimal during our World Cup campaign as well. So don't make me sound like the prophet of doom and gloom, but I was sort of gearing myself up for another summer of disappointment and discontent when it comes to the transfer window and a new manager. I'm just a bit. I just would have thought that there would have been something mooted about a new manager by now. You know what I mean?
Aye. I think there's a lot to get done this summer though, Kev, just as we kind of spoke about earlier. You know, you've got a whole recruitment team to sort out. You've got so much when it comes to the playing staff. Obviously, the manager coming in is going to have a look at the players and determine who's going to fit into his style of playing, who he can work with, who he can coach into better players. As I just mentioned with Welsh, she's went to Motherwell and worked for Askew, who's turned now basically got him playing good football, solid defender. Maybe it's down to the coaching style that maybe doesn't suit them. So a lot of that could come into contention as well when you're bringing a manager in and yet we just round off all the players. Maybe he could get a tune out of, or a better tune out of certain players that are there. But even at that, you're at least another 2 or 3 steps up when it comes to quality. If we're being serious about our aspirations, if the club are serious about it, that's a bit of a laugh in it. If the club are anywhere near what we want for our club, then that's what we should be looking at. You know, you're taking not just a step up at a time. Because we have fell back so much, we're about another 3 steps ahead just to get onto a kind of normal platform, a quality in our team to actually compete in Europe, because we are way off it now. At the standards we're at now, but the squad we've got, thin bare, injury problems all over the place. And I think we spoke about this last week or the week before about you've got to wonder why are they all piling up with the same injuries and stuff like that. You know, we've been absolutely, it's been terrible this season with injuries. The players we've been missing as well. So that's got a lot to do with this season as well as injuries. But we all know that the quality is just not there.
Well, that's the thing as well, Andy, with the injuries. The one thing that all these injuries have told you is that see that you thought wasn't a bad squad, it was all right. It's not, it's fucking rubbish. It's been proven this season. You know what I mean? We're sitting there third. We can still win the league with 5 games to go. One, it shows you how bad the rest of the league are. That we're still up there. And secondly, look at the teams that we're struggling to beat and get by with a goal. You know what I mean? It's an absolute outrage. I'm saying fuck all else about it, man. I'm just fucking sick.
And we welcome Paul McPherson. How you doing, Paul? And Hoggy's back.
This was the part of the plan, lads. As you know, I was meant to be working. Everything's all went tits. I was dashing about all night, and I actually, just because I seen Hoggy going on and off, I thought I'll jump in. Being the sound cunt that I am, you know what I mean? Jump in and save the day. And the big man's back in amongst it. But I'm here now anyway, so. And I'm delighted for Luke McCowan. Early moon for Luke McCowan in his new contract. Oh, the kidding, Kev.
I was about to say there's a square goal coming here as well with that one, but
Sorry, on you go.
I was just about to say as well, the guys, again, I don't know what I missed there while I was going resetting stuff, but we were having a good chat as well about the merits of the kind of Scales and McCowan contracts. The Scales one, did they make sense because he's got 2 years already on his contract to run? So why is the rush to put a 2 years on that? McCowan, yes, was coming into the last year this summer.
Okay.
So I can understand that one. But what's your thoughts on the announcements the day before a big game of those two getting extended?
I was catching wee bits of that in the note, what we put in the discussion, because I've been doing lots of really boring, rubbish stuff. Probably not as vitriolic as the likes of Kev, for example. I kind of, I mean, listen, if they were going to be starting, if they three were going to be starting next season, then absolutely. But you need a squad, don't you? You need a squad, and you need players that are going to be content to sit most of the time, in McCown's case, on the bench. Yeah. And I'm not a big, massive fan. I'm not as against him. No offence, Kev, as you are. I think he's got something to offer. But it didn't blow me away either, right, Hoggy, to be honest with you. I totally get this. B. James absolutely deserves that. Impact player. Showed us just as recently as last week. Come on, they could change the dynamics of a football game. And that's worth its weight in gold. And that's before you go in the dressing room and experience and everything else that's coming for that. Scales to a lesser extent, but I understand it because he's let's be honest, he's had some tremendous games at centre half, particularly backs to the wall games. I would call him a great penalty box defender. So he's played his best football in some of your biggest games. So again, I get that. We're coming to Kev's pal McCown. I'm not. That doesn't really offend me either. That he's got another year. It's another. I suppose it's the Scottish thing, and we're going to have a massive rebuild in the summer. And I think having voices in the changing room that ken what the club's about, even if they're as sort of represent it as little on the pitch as somebody like Luke McCown. He's still a Celtic supporter. He knows what the club's all about. I know that I heard. I know you're right. So and we can't bring anything to the table in that regard. So we didn't deserve a contract. But I think he can. I think he brings something, and sometimes off the bench, particularly. He's got the winning goal in Germany. Let's not remember. Let's not forget. So I think it would. I'm all right. If I've done it wrong, if that was the height of your ambition, I'd be fucking raging. I don't think it will be, but you can never say with this board. I agree with everything Kev said about the board, no fit for purpose. Absolutely. I think the timing of it is fucking pretty poor, to be honest with you. And I think it's all, again, we spoke at the start of the season about Johnny Kenny getting a new contract, and it was fucking like everybody was going insane. And I think a lot it was because of the whole thing affects individual perceptions, individual decisions. And I think if we're probably 6 points clear the new, we're not having this discussion. You know what I mean? We'll probably be having the discussion. It's good to the boys in the squad. Okay, what I mean, listen, do I want Scales in my first choice centre half? I never have. Do I want Luke McCown will be a first choice Celtic midfielder? Absolutely no. Do I think they're worth keeping in the club? I do, aye.
Yeah. And Andy, the point I was trying to get...
I got your bit about wages, and that's another thing as well. They're not going to be breaking the fucking bank, are they? You know what I mean? And I know that's probably music to the ears of your board.
Well, they're not going to get that money elsewhere, put it that way, because they're only going to go down that way when it comes to earning money in the size of club they're going to.
Yeah, of course, mate. But I can kind of see the strength to it. The timing's a bit weird, to be fair, but then it's the Celtic board we're talking about. But so that's my feeling.
Somebody commented on Kev's tap, so that's Geneva CSC away top that Kev's modelling graciously. How do you get that? You need to contact Geneva CSC, is it, to order them?
You can contact the Geneva CSC on Facebook and you'll get a hold of Nicky, or you can go to the O'Neill's website themselves. So I think the O'Neill's website, you can buy it directly from there, but I think it will cost you a bit more money. If you're a bit kind of savvy and want to save some money, then contact Nicky at Geneva CSC on Facebook or on Instagram or whatever they are, and just let them know that you're looking for that tap. They may have some in stock, or what they would then do if they don't have any handy, they'll do another run. And once you
Aye,
get that,
but it can take a bit of time, can it, Hoggy, to actually get them kind of made. Yeah.
They'll do bulk orders, mate, as well, so they'll need to wait to a certain threshold of how many taps that they're going to order.
What I would say is, I've got the home one and the away one. I think we all have, actually. They're actually really, I'm not just saying this because it's Nicky, but they are brilliantly fitted taps. They're really comfy, but they're well fitted as well. Really good quality.
Fits me like a glove, Andy, man. Fucking look like a six-pack and everything in it. It's great. If
you are looking for some top quality clobber, which is Celtic related as well, please, our main sponsor, our clothing sponsor of the podcast, Adalantes.com. If you go to Adalantes.com, have a look there, tell Des that the boys sent you using your discount code CSP5 for £5 off at checkout. Have a look, some fantastic t-shirts are in there, guys. Not just t-shirts, there's some hoodies, there's some tammies, there's some bonnets, there's some cups, there's fucking all sorts of stuff. So please go to Adalantes.com, have a good rummage. I've got a few of the t-shirts. I've got a Tommy Burns one, got a Nakamura one, I've got a couple of CSP ones as well. So they've sorted me right out as well. Good quality as well for the money you're buying for it. There you are, Adalantes.com. But Paul, one of the points I was trying to make with listing the squad and who we've got is the kind of Scottish or Celtic players as well. And there was 10 that we had round off, which was McGregor, Forrest, KT, Scales, Tony Ralston, Luke McCowan, Ross Doohan, Dane Murray, Stephen Welsh will come in next year as well, and then Colby Donovan. But of the 10 that you've got there as well, more or less 8 of them are squad players. Mm-hmm. And then you're looking at the quality of that. And again, the quality that Celtic should be going is, we're needing to look at quality all across the place. But surely what we're looking at is replacing some of the starting 11, and then they whittle themselves down into squad players. Right, there might be some that kind of leaves as well, but it just, I don't want to get back into the whole fucking thing that we spoke about many a time as well about youth set up and not bringing through the required quality of our youth players. I don't want to get in and talk about that now as well, but Andy, are you confident that Celtic getting into the summer will have that in mind as to do a major surgery on the squad, or do you think it will just be supplementing here and there?
Well, it's required. We all know it's required. That's why I'm not the only one. Just about everybody's been saying there's a major job to be done in the summer, and that's just the playing squad. That's not including the whole support system that surrounds that. We're talking about wanting ready people who are running a club, and these are the guys that are going to be picking a new manager in the recruitment process as well. You know, so whoever makes the decisions, we need to make up. Whether we have a say or no, that's what we wish is a change at the top. Are they going to be good enough to get the right people in when it comes to recruitment? To the guys that are going looking at these players, I mean, look, people going about, we've got £77 million in the bank and you've no went and spent on players. Just look at how much we've actually spent on shite. Absolute shite, you know, and Vuka, Balikwisha. You end up forgetting about players that are just so far out the picture. Then you've got players on loan like Big Rocky and Palma, and you know, all these kind of bits that are on the sidelines. You need to deal with these situations. They're not good enough to be here like Palma and apparently Big Rocky. In fact, I think he would have done a job for us this season. I've got to be honest with you. Big Rocky. Naroki, aye, but it doesn't.
Centre half we've got.
Aye, but he lacks pace. That is a problem. But then Scales isn't the quickest either, I suppose. I know they're different sides, but you know, so we've got a whole kind of. You look at our whole squad overall. There's a lot to be trimmed off of that. Then you look at, right, what kind of levels can we look at when it comes to signing players? But you know, there's different levels as to what you can afford and who's willing to come to the club as well. We don't know what position we're going to be at the end of the season. Now, are we going to be going for the Champions League or Europa League or what's the script? You know, that could make a difference getting these players in as well. If Celtic are savvy enough to actually go and target these players and get the deal done and get them in the door. But they have failed in so many occasions with it. Oiry situations, you know, players that they've went and spent the money on. You've got Fuckface in the left-hand wing. What's his face? Taneke. You know, it just, you know, 1 minute you think he's the next coming, and then it just doesn't produce at all. that's not going to win you titles. You need consistency in a team, and we simply haven't got consistency. Guys that are quite clearly get a bit of talent, they don't show it enough, and it's no good enough for me. I think you need to cut your cloth accordingly and get rid of all these hangers on and try and get some real quality in into your team. But that's a massive job when you're putting that responsibility onto a bunch of imbeciles.
Yeah. So, Kevin, I'm going to ask you this one. So, Andy said there, and rightly so, that there is a major rebuild for whoever is the manager next season. That there is a major rebuild as well. So, regardless, if somebody said as well, if Celtic win the league, the board are probably just going to say you've got a championship winning squad there. You need to deal with it. For all the failures of the board and the decisions they've made, I don't even think they see that squad as a title winning squad. If we win it, it's not because Celtic won it, it's because the other two fucking threw it away. Let's be honest, Celtic have been utterly shite this year compared to where we were in the last couple of seasons. But it's one of those things that Scott Brown, I know the boys spoke about it before as well, but Scott Brown mentioned something about, you know, podcasters and Celtic fans expecting Celtic to roll the dice and bring in £20 million players. What do you think? What's your expectations then on how much Celtic will invest in the summer with regards to the new squad or that surgery? Because there's spoke, and there was one of the comments just there actually, let me bring it back up as well, about bringing in like £50 million on Negrin and Engels, which again, we had a wee cheeky wee one in Monday night for the boys as well, and saying, what's your thoughts on building the team around Engels? I think there is a fantastic player to come in that laddie in the future. I think he's doing well to know. But I reckon we're going to get something out of him if you keep him next year and you get the right players on the bill. Now, whether that is giving him the sixth position or whether you put him in front, I don't know. But what do you think it's going to take money-wise to revitalise that squad and bring in the players and the quality that you should?
God knows, Hoggy, you could be talking. Well, see, I was going to say you could be looking for maybe 5 or 6 or £7 million players, but we signed 2 guys for fucking £5 million each, and they were utter dross. You know what I mean? Tenetke. Well, Tenetke's no utter dross, but they're expecting there for £5.5 million. Barkwish, I can't get a sniff. £5 million. We had Ida, £10 million. Know what I mean? So it's all right saying, oh, you need to spend big and you need to spend big, £6 or £7 million. We could be doing we need 6 or 7 right good quality players, and if that comes at a cost of £7 or £8 million each, then so be it. But on the other hand, our board's not going to do that. I know that, you know that, Andy knows that, Hoggy knows that, fucking Paul knows that, and everybody watching this podcast.
Kev, it's not even just a fee. It's you know, if they go and spend, say, 12 million on a player, what's the wages going to be for that player? It's going to just totally shatter the wage structure, and that's one of the reasons why they don't go spend. I know we've spent 11 million on Engels, but that will not be a kind of consistent signing.
The higher the transfer fee, then the higher wage a player commands. No, I mean that comes tongue in cheek. That comes together. No, I mean, and that's one of the issues as well. But one of your other issues to go with that as well is and it might seem, and I don't mean it as fucking anti-Luke McCowan, but I'm using him as an example because of the contract today. But I mean, what's he on at Celtic? 5 figures anyway, even if he's not high into it, right?
Yeah.
But I'd love to see how many minutes he's played this season for his maybe £10,000 or £11,000 a week. That's just fucking dead wood and dead money that could be going elsewhere. No, I mean, and you can only have so many of them as well. Obviously, you need to have guys, you need to have a squad, and that's part and parcel when it comes with it. But in general, there's far too much fucking deadwood in there that could be freeing up a hell of a lot of wages. But see, at the end of the day, for me, I would be keeping Big Engels. I still like him. I've liked him even more for he's been out, because I think it's shown just how much we've really missed him, to be perfectly honest with you. But
Kev, what does that say? Does that because listen, he was getting criticism before he got injured. You know, people are saying he's simply not good enough. If we actually drop so low to a level so low that somebody who comes in and maybe looks half decent, then we are putting him on a higher pedestal than what he should be, because he's basically come into a team that's playing absolute fucking shite.
Well, there you go. Know what I mean? There you go. That's the very point.
Still rip your
I
hands off.
actually agree with Hogie. I think there is a player in there. I just don't think we've seen it yet.
I would rip your hands off for 25 million if you got offered that again, put it that way.
I don't think there's anybody in that Celtic squad now that you would knock back 25 million for, to be honest with you. If somebody came in for any one of your players at 25 million pound, it'd be like, right, guys, that's remember we spoke about this before, and it's the business model that Celtic were operating very, very successfully 5 years ago. Is bring people in, pay a fee for them or whatever the fee is, develop them and punt them on for a profit after a year or two. If anybody comes in and offers 25 million pound for any of your players now, it's accepted.
Why did they not take the 25 for Engels? Was that down to this whole situation with the way the fan base was and all that, and that just tipped them right over the edge if that happened? Because then it was all going to be about the money and no the team.
I would be a wee bit weary of that 25 million pound, because I think what they said, it wasn't in the 20s, it was in the teens, but there was a lot of incentives involved in it as well that potentially would have taken it up into the 20s and stuff. So you've got to be wary of that, because people, for players coming from Scotland, regardless what we think about them up here as well, the guys in England as well don't really rate them as much as they would rate guys playing week in, week out in the Premiership down there. So there is an element of, I don't want to say a big chance there, because if you look at the last couple of exports, look at Matt O'Reilly, for instance. Matt O'Reilly went for big money down to Brighton, and he was the darling up here, absolutely. And he went down there in his first game, obviously got injured, but he went down and done all right. So he went out and loan to Marseille, come back to Brighton in the winter or in January there. And I don't think he's actually played, has he?
I've not seen him. I think he's played once, but he was doing very well in France. You know, he was doing really well. You know, so that fucking annoys me. I know. You know, teams that come and take, we have done it. Other teams, I suppose, you take your best players and then you fucking ruin them. You know, and it's like either leave them alone or they maybe go on somewhere and they do really well. And it's like, what's the point? Why did they actually bring him back anyway? The intention of playing him, things like that really annoy me. That can really affect somebody's career. A guy that's going on and doing really well and they're just fucking pulling him back. Oh, look, he's doing well, he's got to do well for us, and then they don't actually play the guy, and that's, you know, it's kind of annoys me.
We done it a wee bit as well to Welsh. Now, fair play, we let them get back down because we got Arthur in there as well. But Celtic will do that, and that's the thing that you've got to understand where we are. They treat us with contempt in there. Absolutely fucking treat us with contempt. But anyway, let's move on for the squad stuff as well. And look, and I want to see if we can get some positive stuff here.
Can I just pick up on folks? I've been out there grazing all day today, literally not got any football stuff at all. What's happening with the Huns being banned for Celtic Park? What's going down here?
I've got that on a point here as well. So just,
I'm bad for that. Okay, sorry, son.
You're all right, brother. You're all right. So we'll jump on that now. So there was a few posts that came on there.
Can I just, before we go any further, before we go any further regarding the team, because I'm not going to go too far back into the conversations we've already had. What I did catch was Callum McGregor's statement, and that was, if that wasn't a swipe at the board coming for your captain, then I'm not sure what was. So for me, that's a positive that your captain's coming out and actually saying something.
Again, Paul, I've got that on an agenda point.
It just proves we didn't share agendas. That's one thing. That's for sure.
So we'll jump on that in a wee bit.
I'm going to shut my person, right?
No, we'll say the first one you mentioned there, because I don't want to spend too much time on this, because it's something that it's not. Celtic can't make the decision. I think Lauren put up a post as well that it goes to mediation. So supposedly, and again, supposedly for what you're hearing is that Celtic had made a condition on the tickets, or a new condition on the tickets as well, that they would get the tickets for Celtic Park as long as they were not sold to anybody that's part of the Union Bears fan group. Rangers supposedly knocked that back, and Celtic have basically withheld tickets for them. So they're not going to sell tickets for them because the Union Bears are a part of the sales that Rangers are going to make there. That's what you're hearing for comments. Again, I don't know if Rangers have put a statement, but that's what
Celtic put a statement out not long before we came on. And that's basically exactly what they've said. They've asked for assurances that the Union Bears won't be getting any tickets, and Rangers couldn't give them the assurances. So Celtic said you're not getting them. Fucking good.
By the way, I hate to say this, but good on the board for that, because fucking they be fucking everly increasing extreme right-wing fascist cunts in your stadium. Get them to fuck. Yeah. I mean, I know their support's all scum anyway, but that particular group are ever increasingly becoming radicalised fucking right-wing fascists. Get them to fuck your stadium.
Guys, there's a supporters update on Celtic's website at 5:36 p.m, which says, following the most recent derby match at Ibrox, Celtic Football Club has engaged in dialogue with Rangers FC with regards to ticketing for the forthcoming game at Celtic Park. To be clear, we are ready and willing to make the full allocation as normal available to Rangers FC, subject to a condition regarding distribution to a particular section. Celtic's priority will always be the safety of those attending Celtic Park, and following a detailed risk assessment with regards to the forthcoming match, the club has made a reasonable request of Rangers FC that tickets are not distributed to a section of supporters which very recently and identifiably engaged in serious violence and disorder involving Celtic supporters, staff, police and stewards. To their surprise and disappointment, Rangers have not agreed to this request. Celtic are ready to engage further with the SPFL and Rangers FC on this matter. So Celtic can't, it's not as if Celtic are saying you're definitely not getting the tickets. There is conditions that's been made that's not agreed to, so it does need to go to the SPFL board or somebody in there to do a mitigation. I don't know what that'll be. Again, I think that'll be midweek before you're going to find that out. But fair on Celtic for doing that. Fair play.
I know. I think that's the first time I've said that this season. But no, the animals, I mean, they're all fucking animals, you know my feeling on them. But that particular group, as I say, have no place in society, never mind at Celtic Park.
Yeah.
Fucking venomous little bastards.
And I
so,
think
fair play. And listen, Chris Fraser right in there, we need to protect it. Well, but cheers, mate. But I mean, that's the reality. I mean, how many times is our staff, they seem to always want to go for the fucking backroom staff. How many times are they going to get assaulted? Fucking for these wee fucking rat bastards.
Yeah.
And no recourse. I mean, I just flip it. I've said this so many times. Flip it. Imagine that was the Green Brigade running down the park, trip them up, fucking police, fucking knocking stewards out. Fucking hell. We've never heard the fucking end of it. We heard very little. So for the first time and probably the last time this season, I'm going to say this: fair play to the board, and the better stick to their guns. And it's a very interesting one regarding what the SFA's position will be on this. I have my doubts that they'll back Celtic. I don't know the legalities of what Celtic can do on that within their stadium, etc., etc. Maybe the GB jump through. They wouldn't be jumping to anywhere for me. Guys are jumping to fuck. They wouldn't be jumping anywhere near the stadium. Simple as that. Get them to fuck. They're fucking poison. Vermin.
Right. So Celtic come out and do that. They come out with that statement today. Does it sort of leave themselves open a wee bit now to other clubs saying you can get tickets for away games, but you're not getting but only if the Green Brigade or the boys aren't coming in?
I think you've got to back that up with evidence, Kev, as to why Celtic can do.
I know, I'm not saying
Celtic
that, though, Paul. I'm only asking.
I mean, it does.
I'm just asking the question rhetorically. Does that sort of leave us open to that kind of thing?
Obviously,
from
I mean,
other clubs.
We're open to scrutiny all the time and underhand tactics and behaviour further clubs boards, as we're seeing at Easter Road next week when most of us will be sitting in the house.
Fucking scrutiny for our own club and our own fans now in opposition.
We know that anyway, but when most of us will be sitting in the house at Easter Road, which will be half empty. So it's happening already, Kev. You know what I mean? It's happening already. But no, listen, I think, and listen, the hypocrisy is no lost on me. All history and personal history aside, but you can't be fucking behaving like that. You know what I mean? You can't, without any recourse. You know what I mean? And that's just the reality. And I can't believe I'm just saying that, but you can't be running about football parks behaving like that.
Yeah.
And no have any and it's like, but we're going back to the glass on the park. We're going back to the steward. Our other fucking backroom staff again, they hit with a bottle, fucking marked for life. This is a fucking litany of things. Fucking get them to fuck. I'm actually now back to the point. I'm not going to lie, right? I thoroughly enjoyed Ibrox, obviously, and I've been there so many times, so it might be a bit selfish of me, but I'm back to the point, right? But if I ever see these scumbag bastards ever again in Celtic Park, or ever go back to Ibrox and for the rest of my life, I'm all right with that. I'm fucking all right with that, because they're just not worth it. They're fucking poison.
I think, Kevin, that's certainly the stance that you'd taken, Kevin, is because we spoke about that before, but obviously you were very much a regular attender of away games, but that particular one you said no getting the fucking money anymore.
No, I said that a long time ago. I mean, it was up to 56 quid there for the last league game. think the last time I was there, as I said, was when it went to 46 quid. And I said, that'll be my last. And it's been my last. And I've not backed probably 15, 16 tickets for Ibrox since then that I could have been. When Rangers cut our allocation back in the day, I made a statement then, and I've stuck to it to this day. We should have told them all or nothing and stuck to our guns, and we wouldn't be having all this shit now.
Yeah.
And we should just stick to, and that's what we should just do. Just, that's all or nothing. Full broom on, 8,000 at Celtic Park or nothing.
The thing is with this one, I think it is heading for a case that no fans or away fans will be allowed in the games, because Celtic will put the stipulations that they can't get back in. Now, to the point that you made, Kevin, with other clubs potentially using that to ban the Green Brigade, I think, as Paul's right as well, you've got to have evidence as well that there's something there for you to ban them for. You can't ban them for singing and loud and jumping up and down the stadium. What Celtic are looking at banning the Union Bears for as well is because they fucking come down from the other end of the stadium, attacking fans, attacking members of Celtic staff. That's not on. And again, I would stand by Celtic every day of the week for that. And if it means that we need to go to court or whatever the fuck it is as well, stand up for it, because it is safety's sake. It's not just a rash decision that's been made as well to say we want more Celtic fans in that game. What they're saying is banning all Rangers fans. It's what they're basically saying the condition is that section isn't getting in there. So
listen, see the stipulation on the tickets. Rangers could say, we'll give you a guarantee that we're not giving them tickets. Anybody can give you a ticket. So
listen, mate,
you look at whatever way you want, but I don't mean it's a stupid statement to make. I don't mean that, but what I mean is that it's you're asking for you're asking them to do something that they just physically can't give an assurance on, because we all know that you can get your hands on tickets. Know what I mean? Regardless who you are, and whether you're part of the Green Brigade or part of the Union Bears or the Boys or any other ultras group. You get your tickets, so Rangers could turn around and say, right, we'll guarantee we're not going to allocate Union Bears any tickets. Right? If you come match day, Union Bears will be in the stadium. Because they've got tickets off the people. That just happens, and there's nothing you can do about it.
There will be, Kev, but the difference I think you'll see is what you've seen at quite a few away games of ours this year when the Green Brigade were technically banned as well. Spot on, James. You're right, there will be, I mean, Tynecastle, when we get 500 tickets, the Green Brigade banners there. But what you'll not see, I don't think, no matter how this plays out, if Celtic get their way and they do this gets the go ahead, what you want to see is a mass movement in them, which is obviously what happens. Is, I know the way the Green Brigade tickets are distributed as almost like a supporters club. And I don't think that'll no happen. So you're right, individually. The banner will still be there, there'll be a handful of them still there, maybe even, I don't know, maybe treble figures, I don't know, but there'll certainly not be that mass fucking amount. That you're not going to keep them out all the time. You're spot on, Kev, unfortunately. No. I would just ban them all together. The whole fucking lot of them. Fuck it. That's what I would do.
Guys, let's move on for that one. And we spoke about the extensions today, or the announcement of Scales and McCowan getting an extension. But I just want to take a wee second to look at the boy who has committed his full career to Celtic so far. So he'll sign up for his 18th year at Celtic Park. Andy, I'm going to come to yourself for this one, because I've seen a mixed reaction. I've seen folk as well, again, going down the whole route as well of world class in everything we do, even signing fucking 35-year-old OAPs. Is your opinion on the fact that James Forrest has still got a role to play at Celtic, and therefore that the extra year is justified, or do you think that's another example of? Because one of the things I'll show you is actually another post here, because this is one of our friends of the KT, Jesus. So Jesus had put on a post there. The sentimentality at the club is a major part of the problem we are facing. Jobs for the boys in the backroom structure and holding on to players for too long. all a knock-on effect from piss poor recruitment and a severe lack of planning. So that's one area of what people are saying. You've also got people as well that's saying that he has still got a part to play. Look at last week, at Cameroon, he assisted as well. He changed the game, some people will say. So you've got that kind of scale. Do you think yourself as well that there is justification on that extra year for James Forrest? Or would
Well,
you
he's not going to be a first team starter. He's got 1 year left of his career. A one club man. You know, he's the most decorated Celtic player in history. As I said, he's got 1 season left. He's not going to play a full season. He's going to play bit part through certain games. And it could possibly be the difference between winning a game and drawing a game or losing a game. You know, so even though he's at the end of his career and doesn't have as much pace and things like that, he's still got the ability there to really change a game.
Yep.
And I think he deserves it, you know. So I've got I totally agree with what Jesus is saying there. When it comes to sentimentality, I've met him. He's actually he looks fuck all like Jesus, by the way. I'm just going to say that. Baz looks more like Jesus. I've actually not got a problem with James Forrest getting another season at Celtic. He's, as I said, he's not going to play every single game. He's not going to start every single game. He's going to play bit parts in certain games, and so really, I've not really got a problem with it.
I'd go as far to say it'd be criminal if we didn't take that option up with James Forrest, to be honest with you. He comes on last weekend, and for the spell he's on, it doesn't look any different to me than he looked when he was fucking 18, 19. Yeah. Dropping that shooter, you know what he's going to do, the wee man. He stands the defender up. He's not got too much to a trick, but he drops that shooter, gets to the byline, he likes a wee dink in. He gets it obviously in the second half, gets extra time, it gets a goal. I did agree with Jesus' point. What a great nickname! I've never had a nickname in my fucking life.
Jesus about ML1, brilliant.
So I love the choice of him too. That's here. I'm not going to sing the fucking, is it? What's the hymn? Lord of Snow and Rain. Can't mind the hymn it comes to.
Here I am.
That's the Lord.
I have heard you calling in the night.
You know the practicing Catholics. What's it called again? I forgot.
Brendan Rodgers song.
Aye, the Lord of Stay and Stand.
I will hold my people in my hands.
Fuck's sake, we've got Ali Jones up in the corner there.
But I'm not. But anyway,
I thought I'd stalled there, mate, as well. I thought I'll give them a wee song with the fucking.
I thought some of the mass goers would have got us to that one, Hoggy. But anyway, I totally agree with it. Is it I Lord? Is that the one, guys?
Aye, the Lord of Sheen Sky.
Great him. Anyway, the sentiment at the club is a major part of the problem they're facing, George, for the boys in the backroom structure. I think he's absolutely bang on that. That's a major issue at Celtic. Everybody's just so happens to be around about ex-players like the B team, fucking Johnny, fucking what's his bollocks, Johnny Hayes has suddenly got his that gig in there, and it's like, come on, let's show a wee bit more ambition. I think that's the roots of the problems are very deep at Celtic, because as we all know and we've all discussed, but one of the biggest crimes for me is that we've spent the last 20 years, and listen, the contradiction to that is as we've brought through some good players too, but the likes of Chris McCart and all these players that are just and fucking seem to be ex-Celtic players that get the jobs. I'm not believing there's no better coaches out there. No more a different approach, a more dynamic approach, a new approach, all the stuff that is right through the whole club. It's right through the whole club. So Jesus,
but they're Celtic-minded, Paul. That's the most important thing, you know.
I don't know.
I fully understand and sort of, and to an extent, for the best part, agree with that statement for Jesus. But see, as far as James Forrest goes, he's earned it and he deserves it.
Fucking 100%, Kev.
Yeah.
And the lad has still got something to offer.
And by the way, I wasn't his biggest fan out there. But he's earned it and he deserves it, and fucking good luck to him for it, by the way. I listened to his interview during the week where he said, I don't want to play football anywhere else.
The wee man's a class act for me. I mean, I think in the modern day era of football, we should really be celebrating and championing people. Like, we've got 3 of them, by the way, at the club.
Yeah.
And Callum McGregor and KT as well. We obviously has been away and Arsenal doing London and whatnot. And they're 3 very, very grounded. I've never met any of them. Very grounded, but they certainly come across as very grounded, decent human beings. And in a modern day football, when there's so much fucking wrong in football, I think we really need to celebrate that and celebrate loyalty that the wee man's shown us as well. And he 100% merits it, not just to an emotional, for an emotional point of view, he deserves it for a technical point of view as well, because he's still got something to offer us in games. You could actually argue he's still the best winger at the club at the minute, and that's. He could be looked upon as a slight on the other wingers, but it shouldn't be looked upon as a slight of Jamesy, because he's still got something for us.
Scored a lot of big goals.
Lucky sure he has.
He has, and that's where I'm sitting as well, Paul. The fact that he's given his full played career to Celtic. He's put his body through the ringer for Celtic.
Yeah.
You know, he's the most decorated player at Celtic. You know, it's. And I don't think, again, we spoke about the wages he's going to have. I don't think he's going to break the bank for the contract that they're giving him either. So it's not going to be he's got to be like 30 grand a week or anything like that. He'll again be your high single figures or low double figures, I think, on that final year in his contract. But I'm not, because it's a opinion game, and everybody's got their opinion as well. And I'm not going to blast anybody if their opinion is that he doesn't deserve it. But I think there is still a player in there, and that's why if it was simply just you're giving him whatever it is, you're giving him 500 grand for the year to basically just sit there and no do anything. But he has got an impact on him. Yes, he might not be a starter, but he's got that 30-minute spell in him as well. And you said, Paul, as well, his pace is maybe not as it once was, but he's still got that shooting. And I defy any fullback as well to stand up to try and beat him, regardless of whether you know what he's going to do.
You know what he's going to do, Hoggy? You know what he's going to do?
It's the quickness of
you know what?
yards in there.
But what else is good at as well? I'm saying you know what he's going to do, because I'm actually going to contradict myself right here, because one of the things he's really good at as well is dancing along the edge of the box. You know, I mean, he gets that ball and he can go down the right side, obviously, and get the wee dinks in, as we've seen for many goals in his career that he's set up. But I like him when he comes inside too, and he just does that. He's always looked a bit fucking noisy on the eye, isn't he, in his style of play and the way he runs with Jamesy. But he fucking when he dances across the edge of that box, I mean, he's got a shot on him. He's got. I'm still hoping he gets his goal this season, obviously. So it's and again the transitional aspect to the club as well. To lose that experience at a dressing room for a year for a manager, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm actually just making this up, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do have somebody lined up as a manager. That they're not saying, right, I need folk that are in my dressing room. I need people that came at this club's all about in my dressing room, because that's fucking invaluable, absolutely invaluable. So
he's a squad player that can make a difference, though, when it comes on ball.
100%, Kev. And then and as I keep going on about this dressing room aspect as well, that's huge as well. You know what I mean? To have that.
Do you know what I find quite funny, Paul? Just when you're touching on kind of talking about Forrest there, and when Wilfred Nancy first came in, he's walking into Lennoxtown and Jamesy's there. You know, the most decorated man in the club's history, and he never had a clue who he was. You know, he's walking into no get a clue who that's with, and Jamesy didn't even crack a light. He's like, I'm James. You know what I mean? He's
probably the way he likes it, Andy. Probably the way he likes it. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. It's so commendable. So commendable.
You know something? It's funny how we're in this position with James Forrest, and we're talking about this tonight, because see, the last time he got an extension of his contract, and when he wasn't playing a lot of football and he wasn't a starter all the time, Brendan Rodgers was asked the question, why you've James Forrest got a new contract, and his answer to that was, and I know Brendan liked to bullshit too, but his answer to that was his experience just to have in the training pitch and in that dressing room and about the place is invaluable to pass on what Celtic's about to some of these guys who don't know what Celtic's about. And there you go.
I'm thinking about when you've got that at the club, because how many, you look at some English teams, Yank, Ken what I mean? I'm an internationalist. I'm all for everybody coming out, but everywhere. But you look at some English teams, you're like, who the fuck's leading that? Ken what I mean? Who knows what Burnley's all about, for example, when it's folk for all the world, and that's a lovely thing, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to knowing the roots of your club and what it means to the people in the stands and the traditions of the clubs and whatnot, give me Jamesy Forrest all day fucking long. Definitely.
At least you know what you get with him.
So I think we're all unanimous on that one, eh?
Yep.
I think so. I think we are all unanimous in that one as well. And guys, what we're going to do is we're going to wet our whistle a wee bit. And we're just about halfway through the show as well. So wet our whistle a wee bit. And we're just going to play a wee thing for...
Oh.
Good timing, Holly.
It's fucking great timing, wasn't it?
And as they say in the
Fashion
movies,
Decor, finalists in the 2022 Scottish Home Improvement Awards. Outstanding customer service and best for painting and decorating. Specialising in both outdoor and indoor decorating. McFadden Decor, finalists in the 2022 Scottish Home Improvement Awards. Outstanding customer service and best for painting and decorating. Specialising in both outdoor and indoor decorating. McFadden Decor.
Atalantes, the online Celtic t-shirt shop for all the selling Celtic fans since 2020. Use discount code CSP5 for £5 off your order at checkout.
Adelante.
And there you are.
I found
Somebody said that sounds like a Lemmy sketch.
to be fair. But the voice of it scary.
Andy, your voices are brilliant on the ads, man. Brilliant. But gentlemen, we're going to get into a wee bit of a palate cleanser before we can dive into the second half of the show. And we'll talk a wee bit about Callum McGregor, obviously, in the game tomorrow. But we have got one of my favourites, or my absolute favourites. So we're going to have a wee round of...
Who the f*** is that guy? Who the f*** is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the f*** is that?
There we are. Who the fuck is that guy? And to celebrate our man, James Forrest, as well, it's basically James Forrest themed, this one. So James Forrest is going to be celebrating a goal, and he's got a pal with him. But that pal is blurred out, and I want you to tell me who is James's pal in these ones. So, gentlemen, do you have pen and paper, or he's just got to go off the head?
I've got fuck all.
Always got a pen and paper.
Usually have.
Righty-ho. So let's go for player number 1. James scores a goal, and he is mobbed by a fellow Celtic player. Who is this guy?
I think I've got
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Again, guys, if you can please make sure your comments are off as well. I should have said that at the start. And everybody in the community, please play along with this one.
There's a big clue. 2, in fact.
Okay.
Gentlemen, that's all you're getting. So I'll go for Paul first. Who is that guy?
Scott Brown.
Andy?
Yes, Bruni. Wrote down Bruni. I thought I could see a bit of a tattoo behind that Getty Images thing.
Kev?
Scott Brown.
Tappy, see that, the captain's armband.
That's what got me, Paul.
Aye.
There was a couple of clues that I left in there because there's a couple of hard ones coming up for these guys as well. I won't lie. But gentlemen, your first one, absolutely 100% correct, everybody. Well done. And there was a few in the comments, pardon me, that got that one right as well. So there you are. Player number 1 is Scott Brown. Player number 2, gentlemen, is this guy. Who the fuck is that guy?
Got it again, I think. Yep.
Let's see what the community is saying as well.
That's a winning goal against fucking Carrigan, isn't it?
Shakhtar.
Gone fucking bonsai at that moment, so I was.
I was sitting my face trumping me.
Gentlemen, so that's enough there. Andy, who is that guy?
Don't know if it is him. I'm going to go Stokes, but I see one arm tattoo. I think he's got two. I might be wrong.
Kevin?
I've went Stokesy.
Right, I was going to go Stokes, right, but because of that, I'm just to see if I can get this right. I think it might be Stokes, but I think it could also be Guidetti.
John Guidetti.
Yeah.
So who are you going for?
I'm going for Guidetti.
You're right, Paul.
Paul, you should have stuck with your first one, mate. That player is indeed Anthony
Nice.
Stokes.
Wow.
Anthony
Right a bit
Stokes.
left field, you know.
So that's a well done to Andy, and fuck's sake, well done to Kevin. Player number 3, gentlemen, is this guy. This is a hard one. Who the fuck is that guy? If any of you get this, I'll be really impressed, actually.
Is that 20? What number is that? 25?
25.
I've got a guess, you can. It's because of the stature.
Five seconds, guys, and it's going to wait. Right to hold. So, Kevin, who's that one?
I think I'm wrong, but I'm going to have a stab in the dark at fucking Oliver Burke. But I don't think he's chunky enough for him.
Paul?
That's what I think it is.
Andy?
It's not even his number, but I went Beaton.
Beaton. Beaton was number 6, mate.
No enough children getting killed in the background, Andy, for Beaton.
Gentlemen, we have two
No
out of our
enough
three.
people getting shot in the back for Beaton.
2 out of our 3 panelists are correct with that one. That is indeed Ollie Burke.
Oh.
So Kevin's in 3, Andy and Paul are on 2. We move on to player number 4. Player number 4 is this guy. Who the fuck is that guy?
You try to rub that number out there?
No, that's Dirty Shots, mate.
Is it?
Or it might be me trying to do it. I don't know.
Number 2. Is that number 2?
I think that one actually was the goal at the end of last season, the last minute of the last game.
Yeah. Oh, okay, but it is. No, it is.
That was.
I know who was the first player out of him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big clue, that one. Big clue. Let's see who.
I know who's the
guys
first
are.
player out of him. I think
Oh,
I've
we've
got
got
it.
an infiltrator. Says ban the infiltrator. So where?
Is that an 8?
Who's the infiltrator? What is that? This there, right? There we are.
Number
Let's
8.
ban you, mate. Ban you, sir. Like comments.
I think
See you
the
later,
number's
pal. Right, to hold, gentlemen, you get 5 seconds and it's going to be. Actually, you know, it's going to be the new. Back to Paul. Paul, who's that guy?
Purely through memory, if you I think was a fuck, because I've watched that goal a few times, because it was a big moment of the season for me, one of the best moments of the season for me. I was with the KT that day, not the KT, with the Kano that day, Kev.
Yes.
Alistair Johnson.
Andy.
After all that, I'll know you.
I went Negrin for some reason. I don't know why.
Ethan. And Kevin.
I've got nothing, mate, I'll be honest.
That player is indeed, Paul. You are very correct. That player is Ali Johnson. And Andy, yes, I did put a wee stroke through the shorts there just to try and hide
I
that.
remember them being the first error at him after they scored.
Yeah, absolutely correct. So that guy's makes it at 1, 2, 3, 3 and 3. So I'm going to get to one last player as well to see if we've got a winner out of this one. And the last player, Ray Jamesy, is this guy.
I think I've got it. Is that a shout first or?
No, we're going to go. Andy will be first in this one, then Kevin and Paul. I did also do a wee bit of number on the shorts here too.
Aye, that's.
All right,
Did you? How did you do?
Magic.
Looks like 10.
It might be right. I might be lying through my teeth here, mate. You've got 5 seconds, lads. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there we are. So, Andy, I'm coming to you first for this one, brother.
I don't know. I'm out anyway. I've only got 2 out of 4, so I haven't got a clue.
Well, so you are actually. Right. So it's Kevin and Paul. Kevin, who's that guy? Don't know. Paul, set up for you, brother. Who's that guy?
I'm going to go. I'm going to go Van Dijk. I was between him and Edward. Between the two of them.
Guys, you were absolutely right with the shorts. Number 10, right? Number 10 in the shorts. Who was number 10 when about that time as well? And you're talking that player is Moussa Dembele.
I was going to go for him. Do you know what? It's because of that white undershirt he's got on. I'm like, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
That's one of the reasons why I put him in, because, pardon me for saying this, but when you put the badge over his face as well, you can't tell what skin colour or anything like that as well. So the only clue was the number in the shorts. I thought one was going to go that. But gentlemen, we're going to call that there. There is no winner in our Who the Fuck Is That for this evening. So we end up with a draw. Moral victory for both of you. Moral victory. But Paul, I'm going to come back to yourself. Let's dive back into the chat. You spoke about Callum McGregor's interview midweek. One of the things that he did say was talking about Mr. Tavernier's exit from Rangers. And it was quite funny as well. He absolutely, without going through him, we kind of gave him a dose of the salts. We saying he's done well, but I'd rather be sitting in my seat kind of thing as well.
It was a fucking masterclass in how to say somebody's a loser, useless bastard in a polite way. Thought it was fucking tremendous.
Yeah, it was good. He gave him his due without giving him his due. But anyway, Paul, part of that conversation, as you said earlier on, was conversations about Cal and how about whether he wants to play for Celtic, whether he wants to stay at Celtic, whether he wants to end his career at Celtic. And he did mention stuff about talking to the men upstairs. So I'll leave that with you just now as well. Take it away for us, brother.
I thought it was really telling. I really did. I thought some of the language you used. I mean, you could argue your captain could have been saying that earlier on in the season, but then you could also argue that he's got a job today and he's not wanting to cause any more fucking emotions to run any higher than they're already running. So I think we're at a stage of the season where language isn't really going to affect any results. We're where we are, and I think some of the words he used, ambition, and the club to match his ambition, which at 30, what is it now, 34? 34.
32, I think.
32, I think it's 34. So but even still, I thought it was very telling. I thought it was a shot across the bows of the board. But again, not enough for me. This board I totally agree with Kev's. Look, there aren't at the start that I caught just absolutely bang on that they're just no fit for purpose. So there needs to be a root and branch approach to the board, as in them all, if certainly a big majority, if not them all, removed for their posts and replaced with people fit for purpose. I don't think if that's going to happen. I don't know, but I just thought it was a good statement. It was clear what he was getting at. I thought it was well worded. He's not wanting to cause ructions at this time of the season, but it was more than I felt to the board that we really need to get a finger at our arse. This level of fucking incompetence. That's not, and obviously never said that, but I think you could surmise that that's what he was getting at. That this level of incompetence to take us. I mean, imagine they feel in that dressing room, Hoggy. They've been up there last season at this time.
Yeah.
And they're going to be gutted that they're in the position they're in for obvious reasons. So no, I liked it, and I thought the timing was all right. So it was a big thumbs up for me.
Yeah. Again, my own thoughts on it was without hearing it word for word. I've seen clips of it as well. I've read a good bit about it as well. But again, as you said, a masterclass in captain talk. You know, he spoke about the captain, spoke about living and breathing Celtic, spoke about being his DNA. So I think a lot of people have said that Callum might be going to Middle East as well, maybe finish his career there with Brendan. But I think what I took for that was almost a challenge Callum's putting out there. It's like, I'm here, I'm the captain, I want to end my career here as long as you feel as if I've got a part to play. And as long as the ambition that I've got for Celtic, want to win and getting that taste of success, is matched by the men upstairs, you mentioned, Kevin. So for me, Kev, I'm very, very happy with what Callum McGregor said there. I think there's still a lot for Callum McGregor to give to Celtic. Yes, he's maybe not been at his best this season, but I think that in the captain in there as well, I think he's still the first person I'd have in my team sheet. Whether
Finger at his arse, so it needs to get his finger at his arse for playing.
He does, Paul. Yeah, he does. I think that if that kind of continues into kind of the end of this year, starting next year, if he shows that he's no got the legs or whatever it is, then yes, there's questions to be asked. I don't think there's any questions in who Kevin for, but carry on, brother.
I'll keep it short and sweet. I think his legs are starting to go a wee bit. I think this season he's been getting dragged in with the drawstring about him as well. He's still got a role to play. He's still my captain.
Yeah.
Nice and short. Andy, yourself, mate?
I think I totally, just what Paul said, I think he has got to get his finger out, but you know, he's look how much success he's had at Celtic as well, you know, obviously working under Bruno, he's been a captain as well, and learning under him. I think they're totally different kind of characters on the park. But as a leader, you see you kind of galvanise the dressing room, and then obviously before the game, you know, he's geeing the team up to know exactly what the players are meant to be doing. And then there's that experience, as much as his legs may have gone or just about to go or no far away from going. You know, it's that experience, that winning mentality, I think is important to have around your dressing room and on the pitch, you know, putting your influence out there. And you've been in so many situations on that football park in this league. So I think it's important to pass that on to people that maybe aren't as experienced as him, just to at that kind of passing on just wee tips here and there. It's always good to have that on the park. And just obviously with the situation, you know, you've got born leaders there as well. Obviously AJ's injured, but he's, you know, somebody you could see being a future Celtic captain. You've got KT on the other side as well, who I thought if he didn't leave Celtic when he did, he was dead set to be the next captain in my opinion. So I think we've got a few leaders on the park, but I think, you know, Callum Max, he's done a pretty good job. I don't think he's had a great season, but nobody has in this team. So he's coming to the twilight of his career, but it's still vitally important to have players like that on your team.
He's one that's got 2 years left in his contract. Again, regardless of what impact he's going to make over the last 2 years, I think that's one that's probably 2 years and done. Now, whether he goes elsewhere, whether he goes to the Middle East, Saudi Arabia after that as well, who knows? But I think we're all in agreement as well that Callum has got a part to play. Yes, he does need to pull his finger out as well. I'm not saying that's through a lack of effort, but certainly his impact on games is not what it was. And again, there's been many players at Celtic, I think, as well, that's played at such a high level. As soon as you drop down below that, people are going to nail you. Now, again, he's probably still putting in a 6 or 7 out of 10 every week. It's no the 8s and 9s, though, as people are used to with Callum. So whether that means that we've got to get people in round about him to help him, and Paul, you've always mentioned about getting the big bruiser in there, getting a big physical one in there. Do you think that a player like that coming into the team to maybe take away the ball winning aspect of that midfield, do you think that would free up Callum if they got a bit more physicality in there?
Of course it would. I still maintain he's playing in the wrong position. I don't think he's that type of player. I don't think as good as he's been for the last X amount of seasons. I don't think we'll be getting the best of him. And he would always be further forward for me. But absolutely, I think I'm strangely of the opinion that that this rebuild might not be as drastically. I mean, to say this, let's get this right. It might not need as much as we think, because there is some fucking still a lot. I said it last week. I said, I think we forget the amount of quality that we've actually got in that team. There's going to be a lot of moving about. That's the thing, that there is going to be a lot of moving about. But we've still got some really good football players at the club. And if you had 3 or 4, obviously I'm looking for more than that in the summer, But if you had 3 or 4 good players and amongst the players that we've already got, we're a good manager. But this all comes back to this fucking board again, doesn't it? Everything comes back to this board because you can't have any confidence in any of that. I don't think it's as big a job as a lot of people do. A lot of other people do. But I think the people in charge of the job are what's going to make it a lot bigger than it is, if that makes sense.
Well, the thing.
Sorry, Kev.
No,
that's pretty much it, mate. I'm just looking to see if somebody else understands where I'm coming from with that.
The sort of the part where you're talking about, it's not as big a job as is what maybe some people think. For me, it is, because see some of your guys that's coming back, see Vickers and Jota, are they ever, after the length of time, they're not going to hit anywhere near the heights they had before? Because before Vickers got injured, he was starting to take a bit of stick as well about his performances. Know what I mean? I think it's a massive rebuild. That the starting 11 needs the starting 11 just to put us on the pitch needs 5 starters, 4 or 5 starters definitely right away, and then it's trying to get a squad, because it's been proved with all these injuries this time that squad's no good enough as a squad. The fringe players aren't good enough. When he chops and changes it, they don't dare. They don't dare. That's just me.
No, I think everything comes back. See if we were talking for a position where we had a director of football, but these fucks are these days, and somebody that was when you knew behind the scenes that the ground was fertile for a progressive progressive approach to modern football, and the scouting system was right, and all these things. Then we would be. Lisa's pissed herself. Then we would. Then I don't think it would be that big, but it all goes back to the people and the structure that we've got in place. How can you have any confidence? And Lauren, I agree totally. Jota for me is a big worry too. I'm just catching some of the comments too. Jota's a big worry. I'm not convinced that lad will come back. That's been literally a full season that he's going to have missed.
Right.
And the type of player he is, a dancing, tricky winger, that's a concern for me as well. I'm more concerned about that than I'm about the big man, I have to say, regarding what you're getting back. But we shall see in the summer, and again, after everything I've said about this fucking, they always kind of drag you. And I totally agree, James. They always drag you into just the sheer and sometimes blind optimism. They'll get it right. You know what I mean? They'll get this window right. They'll have planned in advance. The window opening will have a deluge of players and a manager and the plans will all be taking place behind the scenes. And like piss, like that'll not be what happens. But you know what I mean? That's what you would like to think at one time will happen.
Yeah.
I think there's a massive rebuild already. Said that, but especially see the left side of the park, as you mentioned, Paul. Talking about Jota, you don't know what the type of player you're getting back when he does eventually get fit. You've got Palma, who's just out on loan. He's deemed no good enough for us. You've got Tenetke, who's no good enough either. He's already shown that. You've got Maida, who's out the door, and he's been pish as well. So who have you got go on that left-hand side? That's one area that's got to be covered for a start. We've not got any strikers. We've got Ian Atchell, who, you know, he's done all right, but, you know, he's never fit enough, in my opinion, to cover any kind of reasonable part of a season. So we've got to get at least a couple of good quality strikers in there as well. You look at, we've got Mvuka, Malakwisha, you know, obviously Mvuka's just as well we didn't sign that guy. We've got the other boy up front as well on loan. Is it Adamu? You know, we've not seen him either, you know, so there's a lot of positions to get filled here in the summer. You've got Welsh who could possibly come back. You've got CCV, again, we don't know what kind of player we're going to get back there as well. So I think looking across, obviously Scales is still going to be there, and McCowan, But looking at all the kind of across the back line, what kind of AJ going to get back? Is he going to get hit with injury as well? Is Ralston going to be good enough just for the cover for him? Because if AJ gets injured again, it's a serious one, then you're hit with Ralston for the rest of the season. So unless you invest properly with real quality, I think we're up for the same kind of season as we've had this season. So in my personal opinion, I think we've got a lot of work to do to make sure the body's on.
Andy, I just want to hand over to yourself, buddy. Before we get to the last couple of points for this evening, I think the sponsors are putting something up for us this week. You want to take that away, brother?
Oh, aye. So Des and Adelantes is going to be giving a T-shirt away, and basically what we require the viewers to do is, have you set that other post up yet, Hoggy? Is it in the community post?
Just about to date the new, mate.
Right.
So
once, I don't want you to put the score there where you can do, but it's not going to count in the chat. What I want is the total amount of goals scored in the Scottish Premiership this weekend. What is the total amount of goals scored? So whoever gets it bang on or closest to that is going to be the winner. All you need to do is go to their community page and comment on the post that Hoggy's putting up, so it's easier for us to keep on top of that. So, and what we'll do is we'll let you know who the winner is on Monday. Find out on Monday, Hoggy, who the winner is.
Yeah, Monday night.
If you go and pick your T-shirt, go and Adelantes, and then email us with your details, and we'll sort it out for you. So we need the total amount of goals scored this weekend in the Scottish Premier League.
Sorry, I'm just putting the post up there now, guys. Only one entry per person, so don't go in there and actually kind of put about fucking 5 or 6 entries on there, guys. So
aye, don't be a chancer.
We might not catch 1 or 2 as well, but if we see the same name posting fucking 30 times with different numbers as well, then we'll know that you're not going to be included there. But guys, if you go to youtube.com/Celtic Supports Podcast, you will get the post, and the post basically said T-shirt giveaway. How many SPFL Premiership goals will be scored this weekend? Posts only on this post will count as entries. So guys, anything if you post it on this chat in the stream, it won't count. Please go to YouTube. Many of you are already subscribed. If you're not a subscriber, then hit that subscribe button while you're there. And even if you want to become a member, hit the membership button as well. It's only 99 pence or whatever. Is it 1.99 or 99 pence? I don't even fucking know. I don't know.
Yeah, they are.
There's 2 levels to the membership as well. So if you want to become a member, please become a member. But go to YouTube for your answers to that post,
right.
Please, guys.
I'm sure there's a very simple response to this that I've just not thought of. But what happens if you've got about 5 folk with the same number? Is that the same?
Well,
guess?
we'll need to do some kind of draw.
Yeah, we will approach that bridge when we come to it. But yes, it's a great point, Paul. What we'll do is, if that is the case, then we'll do one of those random number generators. So and
then I'll pick my favourite with them.
Then Kevin will be there as well to pick his favourite number out of that as well. But guys, if there is multiple people, if there's 2 of them, we might have a wee chat with Des to see if there's maybe we can get a couple of T-shirts as well. But if there's 5 or 6s, we can give 5 or 6 T-shirts away. So we'll do a random number generator if that is the case. But once we get there, we'll deal with that, boys. But guys, before we get into tomorrow's game, I just wanted to bring up one other point that can come out this week. It was a post from Green Brigade and Boys Celtic about the get up, stand up for tomorrow, where the guys have put a post as well that it's obviously the standing section in there, stand and give it you all day. What they're looking for is basically for Celtic Park to be on their feet for the 90 minutes tomorrow. Paul, I'm going to leave you for last with this one because I know you are a patron of the on-standing section, so it's not going to be different for yourself. But Kevin, I'll come to yourself for thoughts on that, because I think the kind of general Celtic fan is happy with that. But what can he buy-in do you think there'll be for that tomorrow? Because I can guarantee you where I sit, and I sit in the gods, mind you, I sit 4-4-4 up the top. But I know that there's stuff that's happened before as well, and there won't be, I don't think there'll be as much buy-in, because there's a few people that sit around about me as well that are older gentlemen as well that might not be able to stand for the duration of the game. What do you think the buy-in will be for that tomorrow, mate?
Right. I understand the thought and the reasoning behind it. And in general as a whole, think it's a great idea. But I don't think the buy-in will be huge. Simply because it became don't know how to describe it, right? But everybody's used to sitting in their seats now.
Sanitised piss, Kev.
And that's just the way it is now, like it or not, right? We went to a seat at the stadium and that's what it is. So obviously I've seen no debates and arguments, but points put forward about there's the elderly people who couldn't stand for the whole of the game, and then there's people with physical needs who might not be able to do it either. And I can understand and appreciate that too. Then there's people who say, well, I'm going to do it, and then people behind them can't see. It's a can of worms, but in general, I understand the point to an extent. I would run with it and agree with it, but I don't. To answer your question, I don't think there'll be a massive uptake on it or not. As I said on our chat a few weeks ago, when the wee statement was made the other week about when the Green Brigade come back in, about everybody getting together and trying to get the stadium rocking and raucous and bouncing and getting everybody back behind the team. I'll say the same as what I said then on the chat. You need to be singing the right songs for that to happen as well. I don't see it getting a great thing, to be honest with you, and I'd love to see it. I would love to see it, but I don't think you'll see much more than maybe. I think, to be honest with you, by the way, for everybody standing, I think I'll feel miserably. I really do, and I don't say that with any great joy. I'm being honest. I'm giving an honest opinion. I don't think I'll take off, to be honest. And I hope I'm wrong, and I hope the place is rocking and bouncing for 90 minutes. But I don't think it'll happen, to be honest.
I think there's an element for me with that tomorrow. If you think, obviously, last weekend we were at Hampden, and again, that's a standing game. You don't sit in your arse unless it's
no,
half-time.
You don't. That's just one of the things, aye.
I think anybody that goes to the away matches as well will agree as well that generally the away matches are all standing as well. So it's not going to be anything different. It's not as if it's a big, bad thing that's been asked of there, but I just think that the impact it will have, because I know for a fact if I stand up as well, I know that there'll be a guy behind me as well that will be like, mate, you want to watch what you're doing. So it'll be interesting. Let's just say that as well. I'll certainly give my I'll be standing up tomorrow. But again, I don't think I don't think the standing up is the thing for me, Paul. No, I'll come to you next. Actually, Andy, I'll come to you for this one, buddy, because we'll leave Paul to last. The standing up isn't the thing for me. It's the noise, it's the singing, it's the taking part. I think that's for me, because Celtic Park has been synonymous for years and years and years with the raucous noise that they make. No, everybody's standing up at that point. So I think that for me, it's a great ask of people, but I think there should have been something in there as well to say, if you can't stand up as well, then at least make sure you're fucking noisy, because I think it's a noise that's going to generate people. And I get what they're saying. Standing up gets you that kind of freedom. It gets you that ability to be a wee bit more kind of free to be noisy. But for me, it's not the case everybody must stand up. It's everybody must back the team. Everybody must be loud with the singing, with the shouting and stuff. And they fucking booing. They booing. Andy?
What I would say is Celtic are on the attack, getting up the park. They're heading into goal. What does everybody do when that happens? The arse is off the seat in it, and they're all up, looking to see what's happening. Now, I totally understand people that can't get up and stand up for a whole game, right? I understand that. But that these people must be sitting, missing every goal that Celtic score if they never ever stand up. I don't think it's going to be uniformly observed, because I don't think it's going to be practical to some people. But I agree with you, Hoggy. I think the whole point is when they say get up, stand up, what they mean is basically they mean stand up. But if you can't, they've already said that. If you can't do it, then that's fine. But at least make a noise. Make a noise. I totally get that. And I think that will be the situation. It will be more noise than people standing up. But put it this way, right? That a lot of people are taking umbrage with us because it's a GB that's put this post out and put this statement out. If this was a club asking fans, there wouldn't be much kickback. It's what's been said online. Some of the things I've seen people coming out with online, the negativity towards fellow Celtic fans try to create an atmosphere. They should be fucking embarrassed of themselves. That these people look for problems rather than solutions. That they're so negative when it comes to their fellow fans. They should be ashamed of themselves. I'm all for it, but I totally get that it could obstruct somebody's view and stuff like that throughout the whole game. But at least make a noise. They're trying to jeer a team on, to push them on. That's the whole point you got to watch a game, and being a supporter and being a fan is to make your voices heard. We're meant to be the best fans in the world, and we can't stand each other sometimes. You know, that it's really, some of the stuff I've seen is quite embarrassing, the negativity towards us.
I think you're right, Andy. And just one wee thing I'm going to say, North Stand Tommy, buddy, I apologise for, I seen your post previously as well. I'm the one that kind of clicks the buttons to put the comments on, and I get myself way behind. I'm sometimes sitting 6-7 minutes behind and stuff, and I have to skip forward to get the more relevant points that's coming across what we're chatting on, because there's nothing worse than us moving on, chatting about something, and then I'm putting the comments on the thing we spoke about 5 minutes ago. So yeah, there is times that I will skip posts, but in no way, shape or form do I have any sort of preference for only putting up posts from any subscribers or members of the channel, mate, as well. That's just not true. So I understand as well that maybe some of the comments you put on there has been missed. I apologise for that. That's down to my ineptness and not getting every single person on there. But understand as well that there's hundreds and thousands of comments that come in here. We try where we can to get everyone put up, mate, as well. So I apologise for that if you felt that I was maybe having a wee selective moment there, be putting posts up as well. I don't mean to be. I just need to zoom through some of them, mate, to get back onto it. But anyway, leave it at that. Paul, I'll come to yourself, mate, because again, as a member of the top tier, and Tommy's right there as well, the fact of standing up as well. Yes, you've maybe not got the protection of a barrier in front of you as well that you can jump up, you know, as well, but you're in there and see that every game as well from the rest of the stadium sitting in their arse basically, and you guys are obviously standing, and the GB are obviously giving their stuff. Certainly the boys as well, they give it a good bit. What's your thoughts on the kind of campaign tomorrow, and do you expect it to be bought into?
I think we've got a lot of very literal thinkers in our support for a start. That I think everything that gets said needs to be followed through word for word. I think a bit of common sense. I don't think anybody would expect everybody in the stadium to be standing up.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I sat in the Jock Stein stand for as long, and Big Chub will tell you, I think we had about, in the 5 or 6 years we sat there, I think we didn't have the same people behind us for more than one season, because they were all just fucking off. They didn't want nothing to do with us, because we would be standing up, and probably one of the easiest to deal with when we got told to sit down, to be honest with you, particularly big games against the Huns and whatnot. But I feel like it's a funny one for me. I think the message really should be get up, stand up. I mean, stand up for your rights, obviously, as Robert Mester wonderfully put it. The man behind Andy's shoulder. I think it's more a rallying call for everybody rather than a very specific order to stand up, and you will stand the whole game. But I mean, it's easy for me because I'm in the standing section. I go to away games, everybody stands up. No, like we're up at Aberdeen, and there's boys in their 70s and maybe even older standing up, and so just because, and this isn't been added, just because of their choice, because everybody does stand up, and that's how it is. That's what happens at away games. Everybody stands up, but I could see this work. Depends where you're in the stadium. You'll know yourself. Most people will know themselves who's round about them. This is where the common sense element kicks in. Because if you've sat in the same seat for any length of time, you know the punter's round about you. And if the punter's if it's a couple of old dears at the back of me that I know can't stand for 90 minutes, I'm not going to be a prick and stand up and expect them to stand up. You know what I mean? I'm maybe going to have a conversation with whoever's round about what we're doing, up for this today, what's the crack. So hopefully that's what happens. And the whole thing just generates an atmosphere rather than you definitely all need to stand up. 60,000 people aren't going to stand up at Celtic Park tomorrow. That's just not going to happen. But if it increases the atmosphere around the stadium, which you shouldn't really need to be increased it when you're coming at the business end of the season, it's so tight. So I could see both sides of I could see both sides. I could see that it's easy for me to sit here and say, everybody get up. If you're not happy to stand up, fuck off and stop moaning. because it's football and you're not the pictures, that old classic line. It's not the pictures you're at. But I can also see, there you go. There's 80s boys CFC that 75 and still. So, there'll be older folk and that want to stand up and sing and shout. There'll be young folk that want to sit in their arse and give folk a row for standing front. So I can see there'll be issues depending where you are. But as long as everybody is doing the most important thing, making a noise, and listen, it'll be fine anyway. My honest opinion, I didn't really see the need for a statement like that, if I'm being fucking brutally honest. I think when you're coming at the business end of the season, I think meeting the team off the bus is a biggie. I like that aspect of it. That gets everything really going. And I think after that, it's kind of up to us and the standing section to create an atmosphere that, well, as we've seen at the last game, that does travel around the stadium. But when I look to my left for the standing section, ordinarily, most people there are standing anyway. So it does kind of have that effect on the Lisbon Lions lower, as far as that. Not all the time, but depending on the game. So fuck knows. I mean, just if you're going, just get behind the team. But I didn't, as I say, Hoggy, I didn't really see the point in a statement that is going to be. By the way, we have got some moaning fucks in our support. Absolutely, thousands of them, man. You know what I mean? And it's like if you didn't want to stand up and you're going to tap somebody on the shoulder and say, "Listen, mate, I can't stand up. Ken, is it all right if you sit down?" I'm sure most people will be sound with that. Ken, you'd have to fucking shout your mouth off about fucking folk tell me what to do. I'm sick of these cunts tell me what to do. Shut the fuck up and do what you want.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. So I think we'll see what happens, but I think the main thing for us, obviously, as Celtic supporters, podcast members as well, is going back the team. Now, if that means that you stand up, then great. So if you can't stand up as well, then don't. But just back the team as well. Get behind them, get the noise, and make Celtic Park a fucking famous place that it is for getting behind it, for getting behind their players.
By the way, can I just add, I'm not even fucking going tomorrow. Because watch what I'm fucking saying here. Because I'm going to the missus. I'm up in St Luke's at a gig in Glasgow that I booked months ago before the fixtures came out. And then even if it had been a 3 o'clock kickoff, no bother. Came, I mean, about 5:30, the gig starts at fucking the back of 7, man. So we must be a bed's got me going to fucking. But it's a band I love. They get wrong. They're actually called Love, to be fair.
Well, Paul, see if it makes you feel any better, Marker. I'm not going either, because if we boys get a birthday party tomorrow through the day, and then we've got a very good French 50th tomorrow night in the Chapel Hall, so I'm not fucking going either.
That does make me feel a bit better, Kev, to be fair.
But see, to pick up on something there, because I've been sitting watching the comments there as well, and just to pick up a couple of things, by the way, just in case anybody's under any fucking doubt. See, if Luke McCown walked out there and that starting 11 tomorrow, he'd get my fucking back 100% as any player would get in that jersey. That's all I'll say.
I'm sure that, Kevin, I've no doubts about that at all, brother. Guys, can I just bring to your attention, I've posted up a couple of times on the chat there as well, the YouTube address. I've seen some posts coming in as well about the goals. Now, please take this as it is, because we will not be counting any posts that's on this stream as actual entries to the competition. You need to go to our YouTube page. Please go to youtube.com/Celtic Supporters Podcast. There is a post on there which says about the SPFL goals. Put your guess in there, and that's where we will take all our guesses from. So if you only put your guess in here and don't put it in there, and it's correct guess as well, it will not count. So please, guys, go to YouTube, get your guess on the post in there. So that's that as well. But gentlemen, we have got a big game tomorrow. Celtic play Saturday, the other 2 title contenders play Sunday, so it is a really, really good opportunity for us to get right back on the top. We would go top, joint top of the table, and depending on the goals it scored as well, we may actually go in front, but I doubt that will happen. Paul, what's your thoughts on tomorrow, mate? Are you expecting to turn up and get a resounding Celtic performance, or a same as normal, nervy as fuck, and wait to the end before you actually celebrate?
Well, I'll draw your attention first of all to 2 posts. First of all, Plunge, very well intended there. Paul, you could watch the fur. That was kind of my intention, Plunge, was to kind of go to the game and scoot up for the gig. which would be nip and tuck, but 3 posts down, Chubb answers it correctly, but that's laced with sarcasm, by the way, because I can't trust myself. So we're going in for a bite tea, and I'm taking the hit tomorrow. It doesn't happen too often, but and it's a lovely night with my missus, so it's not the hardest. It's not the biggest hardship. One of my favourite bands of all time, and playing one of my favourite albums of all time, and I'm going with my wife, so it could be worse. Who's also my best pal, so what can you do? Anyway, and what was the question? I'm here we go again with my. I'm fully expecting us to kick on. Going to say it again. I'm going to go for I'm going to go. Are we looking for predictions, or are we just performance, or a bit of everything? I'm going to go for a good performance.
Yeah.
Good performance, solid, and I'm going to go for a 4-0 win. There you go. I think it's fucking time. The captain was. I thought had a lot of fight. Aside from the wee digs at the board and that, I felt that his message was we are the best team. We are the team that, of course we fancy ourselves to win this league because we're the best fucking team. So time to fucking show it. Spot on, Lauren. Spot on, pal. Absolutely. You know the rules.
Kevin, what's your thoughts about tomorrow, brother? Again, you said you're not going to the game tomorrow as well, but what are you expecting from tomorrow? Are you expecting Celtic to turn up and have a 90-minute performance rather than these 45 minutes of good, 45 minutes of fucking torture?
I'm not expecting a 90-minute performance because we've not had one all season. But I've just got a wee inkling that it's going to be good tomorrow. It is going to be good for the best part of the game, and I think it's going to be quite a comfortable victory tomorrow. I know Falkirk's been doing well and all the rest of it, but I've got that wee feeling that tomorrow's going to be and we've not many, but I think it's going to be a 3 or 4-0 or a 3 or 4-1 shot tomorrow. I think it's going to be sort of a done quite early, first half, first hour. No, I mean, I've just got that wee inkling that it's the business end of the season, and I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's been said, but she I'm not going to go into it too much because Ms. Pope covered it, but something's got under Callum McGregor's skin this week. I don't know what it is. Something's got under his skin, and he bit back a day what he's not done previously this season, and I just think the tide's going to turn. I think the tide's going to turn starting tomorrow. It's a business end of the season, and that's when we turn up.
Score, mate?
Big man.
4-1.
4-1 Celtic.
4-1, because we're always good for getting one away.
Andy, what's your thoughts?
Aye, I was thinking the same. I thought we might lose a goal tomorrow, but I'm going to say we're going to have a clean sheet. I'm going to go for 3-0 Celtic. And I think we'll get a bit of a bounce after winning that semi-final and scoring that many goals as well, especially in that period of extra time. Falkirk, the day before we played, obviously they lost that semi-final, so that might still be on their mind, that disappointment. They might be out to try and kind of, get their confidence back up after that. I think we'll be buoyed up and we'll be full of confidence tomorrow. So I wouldn't say the perfect 90-minute kind of performance. I don't think any team really gives you a full 90-minute performance, but I'm certainly expecting better than what we've seen the majority of this season. Just going on what I've seen in the last game, and again, it's going to be one game at a time. So I'm not even looking ahead to who's playing, who else is playing, and how it's going to affect us. We need to do our business, and as long as we can get the business done, then we just look ahead to the next game once this one's done. I'll go 3-0 Celtic. Don't ask me who the goal scorers are. Who knows?
I'm not going to make that's one of the worst questions you can ask us now. But Andy, I'll agree with you.
Hard enough.
I think it's going to be a 3-0 game tomorrow. I think that what I'm looking for again is not the perfect performance, but it's a performance that shows that there is the fight in there. There's the mentality in there. That there's the want in there for us to actually go and deliver this title to every one of your Celtic fans, whether you're in the stadium watching it or fucking whatever you're doing. That's what I want to see tomorrow. I want to be convinced as well that the fight is in there. Now, I'm more or less convinced that it's there anyway, because a lot of the performances that we've had have been kind of, look at last weekend as well, right? The second half, we were shite, of course. But then it's almost the way that I think that extra time performance for us as well will have a kick-on effect, because it's almost like, we spoke about it on Monday, Andy. We hadn't scored 2 goals and a half for long enough as well. We hadn't scored more than fucking 4 goals for long enough as well.
Since
It's almost
January.
the fact that you're actually doing it proves that you can do it. It's like let's make this a wee bit more simple. So if we get into this position as well, let's do what we did before. You know, any actual as well, the goals that he scored was fucking fantastic.
Have we got the young kid up? The young kid back up? Is he back in the right then? What's his name? The young
Osmond.
Osmond.
I think Osmond and AJ are benched tomorrow. So I think Lorna did and hopefully some minutes for AJ as well tomorrow. Now again, AJ, again, I think AJ and Osmond as well. I think if they can make the bench tomorrow as well, I think that it would be great to see them coming on for some game time. Now, I'd love to see them come on with a comfortable victory already in the bag and less pressure on there.
But can the actual have us free up, maybe Osmond will come on and bag your 4th. There you go.
Well, if that's the case, Kevin, as well, I love it. I absolutely love it, mate, as well. But I think we're all expecting tomorrow a game comfortably won by Celtic as well. So let's hope that's the case. Now, gentlemen, we are approaching the 2-hour mark as well. So let's call this quits. But anything that we've not covered tonight as well that any of you want to have a wee chat about, or any points to make? Paul, you first.
We're meant to do our 101.
Oh.
Well, I didn't know prepared for that. I had a few off the cuff things I could have moaned about, but
let's keep the 101 for Monday. Let's keep the 101 for Monday as well. There might be a few things over the weekend that do that. Because again, Kevin, if we start getting into it, that's another 10-15 minutes. It takes us well over the 2 hours. So again, apologies. I've actually got the agenda fucking sitting there. It's the last thing I've got to score off. So apologies for that, gentlemen, as well. But anybody get anything they want to discuss before we say goodbye?
listen, as much as I'm looking forward to my night in Glasgow, the more a 5:30 kickoff at Celtic Park, sunshine, I can feel the excitement. That's where so everybody have an absolute fucking ball, and get the team roared on. Whether you're sitting down, whether you're up shouting, screaming on your feet, just get the team, fucking get behind the team, and let's get this fucking game smashed to pieces. And with another result away for winning a league and cup double, how good would that be?
That would be fantastic. Andy boy, anything to
fucking daylight robbery, Paul.
No, mate, just obviously, you know, as Paul said, you know, Saturday night football, nice weather, you can feel the buzz, can't you? You can just feel it. So I've got good feelings about tomorrow. So fingers crossed.
I think also there'll be a lot of buzzed Celtic fans entering Celtic Park tomorrow as well.
That's exactly all that, Augie. Fucking so I'm a wee bit envious of that point of view, no fucking lie. But
listen, see tomorrow, see as long as Big Annie actually starts, everything will be good.
Right.
I'm not convinced that the man will start as well, but I think he will have an impact on the game. Let's say that as well. But gentlemen, thank you very much for your time tonight. Kevin, Andy and Paul, thank you very much for popping on. I know you'd listen to the plans tonight and stuff like that didn't quite work out. So thank you very much for popping on. Guys, again, last call for the CSP t-shirt giveaway. That giveaway is going to be based on YouTube posts, not the posts on this stream. So please go to youtube.com/Celtic Supporters Podcast. Put your guess or your entry into the post that's on there as well. Guys, thank you very much for a gateway performance from us tonight as well to your weekend. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, stay Celtic, and stay CSP. Want the fucking Celtic tomorrow. We are out of here.